So we're not turning on Trump. We will gladly and proudly defend our vote for President Trump. We voted for Trump 3 times. We'll honestly deliver our differences with the president and his administration when we have them. And more importantly, we'll search out, like we did today. You've sort of watched me struggle with this all week. You've watched me sort of struggle with this Iran war and like, why is it happening? And instead of like bitching and whining and whinging about it and like burning our MAGA hats, we set about doing what I think any honest operator and good faith operator should do in these moments. I don't get invited to classified briefings. It would be illegal for me to be in a classified briefing. But I do have a lot of friends who do. And I do have a lot of friends of the show. And there are a lot of people that want you to be informed and want me to be informed and want me to be a vector to tell you information that may well not be able to be fully disseminated to the public. And that's what we're going to do. Over the course of pretty much the last 8 hours, I have been on a nonstop phone call. You know, I do live in Tampa. Tampa is the center of CENTCOM. CENTCOM, U.S. Central Command, is who runs these wars and runs these operations. I have neighbors who fly fighter jets. I have neighbors who have the top level security clearance. It's a military town where I live. This is what it is. It's a great town. Makes for a clean and orderly place to live. A ton of people with law enforcement backgrounds here and military backgrounds all throughout Tampa. It's great. Makes it very easy to get private security, right? And it makes for a safe life, but it also makes for a connected life. If you are smart about it, you can walk in and get a much broader understanding about what's going on. Now, as you can understand, you could pretty much figure out when America's going to go to war by just checking the salon listings around Tampa. And the reason why is that, you know, a lot of these women, if their husbands aren't coming home, they're going to go to the salon. These husbands that work at CENTCOM, they go and they like stay on base. They live off base. They stay on base. And when things are popping off, they don't leave. They don't come home, right? The women go to the spa day then. And that's what's been going on around here. Also, I live in a flight path to multiple military airports, and you can sit out back on the porch and you can just like watch day and night Globemaster C-17 jumbo jets flying in the dark of night. They only fly them at night. I think they just don't want to give like they don't want to show too much in the middle of the day. It's just nonstop. And it doesn't sound like a commercial aircraft. It sounds like a military invasion. As you know, we have connections to Pete Hegseth in his office. And so I'm just going to tell you that like, instead of like sitting here and wrestling with why is Trump doing this online, or like trying to blend or balance Trump versus Tucker versus Megyn, you know, and every podcast bro and commentator. How about this? How about I like shut my mouth and go to the people that actually understand the play that's happening here and ask them? And that's what we've done. And we're really proud of our work here because I think we've gotten to an answer. And, you know, it's funny because Elon Musk beat me to it. You pop that up. Elon Musk beat me to it yesterday. When Elon Musk said, you know what? The stage is being set for what is about to come. What is this exchange here? Why are we making moves on Venezuela and Iran? This is why. What are they quoting here? They're quoting Chamath. He's this tech billionaire from Silicon Valley, saying Chinese growth is falling off a cliff. The CCP just announced its official growth target between 4 and 5%. This is the lowest growth in China in 30 years. At the same time, with Venezuela and Iran off the chessboard, with energy supply, they're increasingly challenged in getting the atoms they need to sustain themselves. It makes for a very constrained set of decisions over the next few years, especially with Taiwan. Okay, so this is the original post pop out. Why are we going after Venezuela and Iran? Elon Musk, of course, the man who commands our military from a private sector perspective. Might get in trouble for saying that, but it just is what it is. Try running a American military right now without Starlink. American gliders and bombs have landed and have flown off course, and they like crash land in some Kurdish field. Dude, the American military weapons all have Starlink on them. Do you understand? Do you understand? Elon Musk, incredibly important to our military industrial apparatus, along with a lot of different AI. And whether that scares you or not, whether we're living through Terminator or not, it just is what it is. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Elon Musk says, the stage is being set for what is to come. What does Elon Musk know? What does Elon Musk understand about what's happening here? Well, to truly understand what's happening in the present day, you have to go back a month. You have to go back to President Trump's World Economic Forum speech. A critical moment where President Trump explained what the Venezuela operation was all about. And he didn't exactly name names, but Donald Trump used this global stage in order to calmly explain why they black-bagged Nicolas Maduro. Now, obviously, he's bragged about the discombobulator and so on. And obviously, Trump is just one of these guys that loves to flex. But it's more than that. It's more than the discombobulator, which, of course, Donald Trump has proudly described in many instances. It was about showing Russia and China what we are capable of. These proxy battles are, of course, the global superpowers squaring up without ever having to go to nuclear war. The problem with U.S. invading Russia, which I'm not advocating for, or the U.S. invading China, is that you spiral into nuclear war quickly and then you can obliterate the entire nation. It changes it forever. And that's what everyone's tried to avoid ever since the first atomic bombs were dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Everyone said, whoa, we don't want to drop these things ever again on each other. That would be bad. Let's try and fight proxy battles. Cuba, proxy battle. Little wars in Afghanistan, little wars throughout Eastern Europe. These were proxy battles, all of them with the Soviet Union. The Sandinistas, everything through Nicaragua, everything in South America, proxy battles. And that's what's currently going on right now. What happened in Venezuela was America versus China. What happened in Venezuela had nothing to do with Nicolas Maduro. It had everything to do with us melting down the Russian and Chinese tech that was purchased for billions by the Venezuelans, rendering it inoperable, showing the Russians and the Chinese that nothing that they do can stop what's coming. As Elon Musk says, the table has been set for what is about to come. And what is about to come? We don't live in a unipolar world anymore. Since 1945, when America emerged from World War II, richer, stronger, and better, and the only nation to do so. No other nation did this. Every nation was decimated. Every nation. Russia was decimated. Soviet Union, they'd lost half their population, all of their wealth. Russia was decimated. The UK was decimated. Every European power was decimated. Like the globe was gone. Like the world was our chessboard. America lived like that and lived proudly like that until we created our own enemy in a reinvigorated Russia and China, castigating both of those nations building up and then castigating both of those nations like stupidly. China was a third world backwater when I was born. Now it's a nation that rivals America in every sense and sets the terms around the globe, or certainly within their hemisphere, but definitely sets the terms on our economy quite aggressively and dangerously. And so President Trump and his team are remaking the world once again in America's favor. And the only way to do that is through the end of a gun. I'm not arguing that we should go to war with all these countries all the time. I'm just stating the way the world works and the way it's always worked. Power emanates from the end of a gun, not through treaties, not through international law, not through any of these like silly obscenities of the neoliberal world order. No. Hitler and every other world leader throughout all time have proven there's no such thing as a treaty. There's no such thing as paper. There's only raw power. That's it. President Trump understands that. And it's probably the first president in my lifetime, certainly, but maybe the first president since Dwight Eisenhower to understand that. That only through a fistful of hardened iron power do you win. This is why President Trump sounded like this on the World Economic Forum stage. Here we go.
Now our country and the world face much greater risks than it did ever before because of missiles, because of nuclear, because of weapons of warfare that I can't even talk about. 2 weeks ago, they saw weapons that nobody ever heard of. They weren't able to fire one shot at us. They said, what happened? Everything was discombobulated. They said, we've got them in our sights. Press the trigger, and nothing happened.
Oh.
No anti-aircraft missiles went up. There was one that went up about 30 feet and crashed down right next to the people that sent it. They said, what the hell is going on? Those defensive systems were made by Russia and by China.
Oh.
So they're going to go back to the drawing boards, I guess.
Say whatever you want about Trump. I don't care. You'll never get another one like him. You never get another one like him. He's just straight out saying it. It's just mean smash talk. Just smash mouth. Just absolute smash talk. Oh. Well, hey, Grok, how much did Venezuela spend on Russia and Chinese military tech? $7 billion? That's a lot of money. Nicolas Maduro was protected by the best anti-aircraft, anti-personnel, Chinese and Russian tech that you can buy. And it's state-level purchase, so you can buy these like classified systems. The Chinese were no doubt running them. The Chinese were there. Trump did the raid while a Chinese delegation was in Venezuela to meet Maduro. So they go out for coffee with the guy. They have a cigar. They go back to their rooms. They hear a flashbang grenade. And the Chinese like run out in their bathrobes to their veranda in Caracas and watch all of their billions of dollars of military equipment melt to the ground without a shot fired. Not a single American dies. That was the play. Yeah, it's awesome what's happening with Venezuela. This is great. This is what I was looking for. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I was looking for. This is great. Look at this. U.S. and Venezuela reach historic agreement to reestablish diplomatic ties. Tee-hee-hee-hee. Yay! What is this? Raw power. Raw power. You are either the super state or the vassal state. That's it. There's no such thing as independent states. You're either inside of a hemisphere of influence or you're not. Venezuela has just been taken. Mr. Steal Yo Girl is what Trump is. Hey, Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305, Mr. Steal Your Girl. Pitbull wrote a song about him. That's what Trump is. That's the girl. This was China's girl. It's Nicolas Maduro's right-hand woman. She's like the subservient slave. This is like the Ghislaine Maxwell to like Nicolas Maduro. Sitting there giving him foot rubs one night. He's black bagged. Now she's sitting there giving Doug Burgum a foot rub. Metaphorically. I don't think that happened. What I'm saying here is this is Mrs. Steal Your Girl. Venezuela was selling all of its oil to China. 0 drops of Venezuelan oil reached America. Now, all Venezuelan oil is controlled by America. Who has the biggest oil reserves in the world? Saudi Arabia, Benny. Shut up! You're dumb. It's not true. It's Venezuela. I'm sorry. I would never call anyone dumb.